What is up, everybody? Welcome to the FTI Podcast. One of the greatest podcasts, I would like to say. Was that too loud?
No, I was like putting my headphone in at the same time you paused. And I was like,
and then I yelled.
yes.
One of the greatest podcasts coming out of Akron, Ohio, in my opinion, just because I don't know of any others currently that are. I'm sure there's some because, you know, like buttholes, everyone has a podcast.
I know there's a couple of those like pop-up like businesses where they just run like they have like podcasting gear for people to like rent out to do a podcast every week. And
It's tempting if I could customize the studio a little bit each time.
Yeah, so
get like a shared co-working space with an office and just make a podcast studio in it.
Yeah, there's like random like full production studio things that you can rent, probably like by the hour and stuff. But
I think there's one in Kent, actually.
Could you believe having to like probably try to edit someone else's podcast and like all of that kind of stuff? I know we don't edit, but
oh man, I would love that. Hey guys, we're gonna start a GoFundMe for you to pay for us to have our podcast done for us. We'll just come in, phone it in each week, and I do sometimes think that an in-person podcast would have a better energy because I'm talking to you through a screen that everybody else is watching on another screen.
I don't know. Maybe one time on a Wednesday, I'll bring my mic and camera over and I'll just sit on the opposite side of the desk of you.
It's a very ugly background back there. I'll have to put something up.
Yeah, I was gonna say with all the kids' stuff behind me.
with all the gymnastics crap behind you and a bookshelf that's holding a whole, toilet paper and stuff.
It wouldn't fit in my car. I was gonna say I'll just bring my Kyle Busch hood.
Put it behind you. It's okay. I have a whole pipe and drape system, so we're good. And we have a TV that I can put the logo up behind you.
I thought about getting a little TV,
but then I would be talking to you through a screen, behind a screen.
True. Yeah, we're just coming up with bad ideas. This is just the Bad Idea Podcast.
Hey, thanks. We got I know it's horrible that I mention current viewers, like number of viewers, because whenever this, which I've been really bad. This is we lost him already. We had one. It's been really bad because I've been really bad about getting episodes switched over to audio because I've just been so busy lately. So I've been really slacking. I think this is episode 10 of the second season, and there's maybe 3 episodes on audio.
It's only gonna get busier.
I know. I need to just take some time and do it. And I don't really edit any of it. I just throw some music at the end, see if there's any super long pauses, take them out.
I guess I drank more Monsters than I thought I did in the last couple weeks. It's just under my desk. I'm drinking them lukewarm.
Oh God. I was hoping you had like a mini fridge under there.
Nope.
Ugh.
Nope. But
I went and got it's like a truly berry blast, and it's like 8%. It's okay. All right, focus. There we go. And then I because you got me liking them, I went and got some Zin because don't do what is it? It's not Views, it's Velo. because those things are like 20 milligrams. And I like Zyn doesn't even make them in that. They're 3 and 6. And I think Velo's like literally 20 milligrams. And I got my 1 for $1 at Mid Ohio last year.
Yeah.
I popped it in and was going to shoot some I think it was Indy Next, and I thought I was gonna fucking die. It was so strong. I was
Haven't had
like
a nicotine
high.
buzz in years.
It was just like the biggest nicotine buzz ever. And you know, I'm not a smoker. You know, I vape every once in a while, you know, and I'll do like pouch things like this, but so it was quite an experience, and I had to like spit it out halfway, like a half an hour into it, because I was like, I'm gonna fall over. This is bad. Just looking high as hell, you know, in the restricted zone.
So, speaking of Velo and INDYCAR, how'd you like St. Pete?
It was well, to be honest, I did watch some of the F1 race on Sunday.
You traitor.
And it's only because I turned the TV on Sunday morning, and I was going to try to catch some of the NHRA action that was going on. Well, no, it was Saturday. It was Saturday.
Yeah, it was
F1
Saturday.
race was Saturday. So Saturday morning, I turned on the TV, and the F1 race was still on. So I was like, well, IndyCar qualifying doesn't start for, you know, another couple of hours, and NHRA's qualifying was already over. So I was like, I guess I'll just watch some of this. And to be honest, I think I watched the F1 race twice this weekend.
1 second.
You know, it wasn't that interesting. You know, F1 race was kind of typical F1 garbage, you know, and
turns out I had the broom money. But
okay.
I clicked an ad as I was sitting back down.
Yeah, it totally glitched. But I was just saying, like the F1 race was typical F1 race, horrible. Max was out in front.
Well, we'll go
It
with
was just background noise on the TV.
What about Ollie Bierman?
Yeah, that was pretty cool. He you know, I think he finished
sixth or seventh, yeah.
Yeah, which is pretty good. First time out, you know, Carlos Sainz having extreme appendicitis and having to have emergency surgery. And then giving, you know, this kid a chance, which is great that they didn't say, hey, Nick DeVries, do you want to race another car? So that was cool that they actually gave, you know, you know, an academy, a Ferrari academy driver, a chance. So that was good. He did good.
Yeah, to come out and, you know, earn points.
Yeah, I mean, it's better than what some of the actual drivers do sometimes. I mean, he didn't stick it in any gravel, so I mean, he's already doing better than Carlos Sainz.
Yeah, I mean, he completed the race. It's a miracle for a Ferrari.
I mean, talking about completing a race in F1, there was I don't know what her name was, but the F1 Academy driver,
the Pinman or something like that,
possibly. Oh, let's see, what's her name? Thank you, Fox News, I guess. No, thank you, Fox News. Ha! There we go. Yeah, it's Pin. What's her actual name? Doreen Pin. A 20-second penalty.
Yeah.
You know, for just continuing to go. finished first and dropped her to 9th place.
And I don't
She
know
was
if you
completely
saw, did you see the videos that you really couldn't see the flagman? You couldn't
No, I
see.
didn't see the actual like checkered flag. I
I
didn't see
saw
that, but
I think Mark Urban was sharing the in-car. Her in-car coming to the checkered. You couldn't see it.
I mean, but
And
shouldn't it?
her team
I mean,
was too busy.
on a
Her,
steering wheel, there's normally like an icon or something like a light.
you're the F1 fan here, so
I know at least on IndyCar, there's some kind of indicator on the steering wheel lights, like, hey, checkered flag.
but her
But
team
then
was
her
too
team is just,
excited
they're just
celebrating.
celebrating. Headsets are all off, not telling her. And like, I get why the penalty was given. It's a safety issue having a car going full speed after the race is over, but it's the responsibility of everyone else
Yeah. Where were the
to
other
be careful,
marshals or
you know?
anyone else? Where was race control?
I mean, typically, I've seen it at many different things that once the checkered flag comes out and, the lead car is coming around, all the corner workers wave all their flags or whatever, or wave a yellow something.
Yeah,
Why
they
was
all
there
put
no
their flags.
yellow?
Mid Ohio, they all put their flags down and they're waving and
Yeah, like it's there's something going on. But I mean, what a horrible thing. You know, uh, it's not what the F1 Academy needed.
no.
Like for that to happen in Women's History Month,
At the
like,
start of Women's
oh
History Month.
man, like their first F1 Academy race, and she was completely dominating the weekend
Yeah.
too. And then, it's kind of, if she can learn when the end of the race is, hopefully she can make it up to like F3, F2. Get her to Indy next. We'll take her.
Yeah.
She could join the ranks. I think is Chadwick the only one? No, there's
I think it's
Brunner, isn't it?
yeah.
Isn't it Brunner is in Indy next now? This show is going to be
A mess.
all over the place. And I have not ate that much today, and this drink is already hitting hard. I know last episode I was I was a little buzzed at the end of that one. Uh drinking 3 teas in one session.
My dentist, I had a dentist appointment on Monday and he's a big motorsports fan, but being a dentist and someone that has, a little more money, his favorites are F1, MotoGP, and INDYCAR, and he's telling me all of these tracks around the world I need to go to. And I was
Must
like,
be nice, sir. I am not a dentist.
sir, I will never be able to afford to fly to India. Or I can't remember the other one he said. He said another one. And I was like, I wanted to be like, dude, I would be lucky to make it to Coda.
Yeah.
For an event.
For even a NASCAR race, you'd be lucky to get there.
But he says Coda is a great place to see MotoGP.
I mean, we'll get to see its little brother.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which
Moto
we could
America.
probably meet my dentist at that, or IMSA, or INDYCAR, because he goes to all of them.
Huh.
Really cool guy. It's just he's got a little bit more money than I do.
Yeah, I've been getting a lot of Facebook ads for Moto America having an
You get the
apparel
$15 hoodie one.
Yeah, it's a badass hoodie though. The faded M. They got some nice shit, to be honest. I'd buy some of it.
Back to INDYCAR. Did you happen to check out David Land's video? Post race, he asked
Yes.
the drivers to describe the race without using fuel mileage, and I don't know if any of them really had a real answer besides like, it was slow.
Yeah, Renus VK's was pretty funny because he was just censoring himself.
Yeah,
But that was an actually entertaining David Land video.
but that's what I think IndyCar needs more of, is the realness from the drivers, which is another topic I've been seeing a lot of this week, is team owners, especially Andretti, pushing Roger Penske to sell IndyCar.
Yeah, there were apparently, according to the racer.com, Marshall Pruitt, there was a meeting back in February of a whole bunch of teams that were, had a whole bunch of concerns about the future of the series, and if the Penske Entertainment Group was doing enough to secure it. I mean, with all these rumors of Honda leaving IndyCar for NASCAR, I mean, moving down to a single engine supplier is going to be pretty detrimental to the series. And really, it's the marketing of IndyCar is
Non-existent.
yeah, it doesn't exist. It's not there. They don't really do anything to make it exciting.
Which
They're
it should be, honestly, the number one racing league, whatever you want to call it, out there.
I don't know how NASCAR outbeats it. The racing's, I mean, on a majority of this, majority of the time, IndyCar produces a way better racing product than NASCAR does.
Which, what I think they should do is kind of what they did this week. The way it worked out with that noon start for IndyCar. Now, it wouldn't work out maybe so well when they're on the West Coast, but that noon start for IndyCar was great because that race was over and there was about an hour before the NASCAR race started. I don't even know if it was that long, but there was, I mean, I sat here all day. I had to, catch up on stuff around the house from working so much the last couple of weeks that, I put the IndyCar race on. I sat here, watched the whole IndyCar race, and then got a couple things done in time for the NASCAR race to start. And that snooze fest got the rest of the stuff I needed done during it. But I really liked that noon start for the IndyCar race because I could, I woke up a little early, ran to the grocery store, got some stuff done, and then was able to sit and watch racing all day long. There was 6.5 hours worth of racing just in those two series on Sunday.
Yeah, and I know that some of the things that were said that I apparently Liberty Media, who owns F1 and a whole bunch of they own a couple different sports things, casinos and stuff like that, but they've been reaching out to Roger Penske numerous times, at least 4 times, with different offers wanting to buy the series, which I ultimately think that's going to be a horrible thing.
Yeah.
Because you see what, as media members, you and I, it would not be good for any media member.
No,
because you're there you go. You're not going to be able to film anything on track. You're not going to be able to, do anything. It's going to be really hard to get any credentials. And, they'll market it really well and they'll make it a great product, but it's going to be hell for anybody else. It'll be great for Liberty, horrible for everybody else. It just needs to be marketed better and not so stuffy.
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad there's there's a little bit more of the social media of the personality showing more. But again, you got Penske, who doesn't let any of his guys show any personality. You've got to be prim and proper if you're a Penske driver.
Well, unless you're the Bus Bros.
Yeah. And
but
then
I mean, you win an Indy 500, you get certain privileges. But I mean, there's only 3 Penske drivers, so I mean, they're not. Will Power isn't really the most charismatic guy. And then your other 2
double
are.
Is great.
Yeah, he's just not. He's a likable guy, but he's not. He's older. He's been doing it for a long time. You have the young guys with Joseph and Scotty Mack, and they bring a lot to the table.
Speaking of Scotty Mack, his dive bombs in that race on the restarts were amazing to watch. I was watching the highlights before we started today, and his dive bomb at the start of the race was amazing. And I don't know, Scotty Mack, I wish he had better liveries, because I think every time his are goddamn awful.
Yeah, this one wasn't the Suncio one, was it?
I think it was another white and black and red.
Oh, probably like a Dex imaging or something.
Yeah. But
I'm not a fan of the Joseph Newgarden PPG one. I like his shell one. The shell one looks good.
I mean, I think the best IndyCar one will be for now is the DHL one.
Yeah, on any car that it's on. It is really weird seeing who is it? Is it Alex Palou, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's Palou wearing the DHL is really weird.
Yeah, and we're gonna have to get used to Grosjean in black and green this year.
Yeah, they've added a little bit of orange onto those JHR. I don't know if that's like because I know that they teamed up with like an information agreement with Arrow McLaren, didn't they?
Yeah, one of them.
Maybe the orange is a little touch to that, but
did you watch the broadcast, or because I know you were busy during the race?
I didn't.
Okay. One awkward thing at the beginning of the broadcast, the beginning of the race, definitely first half, probably first quarter of the race. They were talking about everyone's like relationship status at the beginning of the race, like who got married in the off season and this and that. It was definitely a little awkward. I mean, it is nice that they're trying to
personalize
these guys, but yeah, I think they mentioned Grosjean flying, and his pilot license, which I think is the coolest thing. Him and like Chase Elliott having their pilot license and flying into races whenever they want. But yeah, I mean, overall,
it was how comfortable that makes me feel. I've seen how Roman races a car.
Yeah,
I don't know if I really want him in a plane. There's a lot less stuff to run into.
Yeah, you're a little more calm, cool, and relaxed flying a plane than being in the heat of battle in a race.
Do you know what's really amazing? That Felix Rosenqvist is completely annihilating it with the MSR.
Yeah, that's why
he is doing amazing. They Elio and Simon didn't really do the greatest last year. MSR had problems with getting a good result, but Felix up there in the top 10 already.
I mean, he qualified second. It was up there battling at the beginning of the race, so
he made it into the Fast Six. The past champion didn't. Hello. had a horrible qualifying. I don't think he even made it into the Fast 12 on Saturday.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was a field mileage race. It was, a little bit of follow the leader, but Newgarden didn't win by 30 seconds or whatever. You had some attrition in the race between, it wasn't VK, whoever popping their tire lap one. You had a couple wrecks in turn 10, of course.
I mean, Joseph did lead 92 laps.
Yes, he did lead most of the race.
There was only 2 other people that led laps. Colton Herta led 1 lap.
Yeah.
And Christian Lundgaard,
that's who.
Which he's becoming pretty damn good. He was, he might be, he didn't finish as high as Pietro and Graham, but he's still, last year
he had the issue on lap 1. He popped the tire in lap 1.
But
and he
last
led
year,
those.
he was one of the best performing Rahal drivers.
Yeah, he led those laps because of pit issues. Which, speaking of which, I whipped your ass in fantasy for INDYCAR. I beat you by almost 20 points.
Holy shit.
But I mean, I don't know. Sometimes with the INDYCAR stuff, you can pick the pole qualifier, and you're at least guaranteed good points with them unless they wreck out. So yeah, it was 142 and a quarter to 126 and a quarter.
Oh damn.
I got you by like 16 points.
I wonder how I did on NASCAR.
Well, let's check that one too. I know I had taken over the lead on NASCAR. Yeah, and did you get to watch any of that snooze fest?
No. I absolutely despise Phoenix.
We've talked about this with the lack of track
the dog
limits.
leg. The dog leg just, which apparently it annoys a lot of other people too. Okay, because I saw it on Twitter and Facebook. People wish it was just grass again. Or something. Move the wall out. Yeah, you're still leading that.
Yeah, I'm beating you by almost 100 points.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did set my fantasy last week, but wow, my fantasy was terrible. I had Denny, Eric, Jones, Tyler Reddick, Ty Gibbs, and Ross.
If you want to listen to a good podcast, Connor Daly's podcast has Joseph Newgarden on it this week. The INDYCAR app just told me.
Did you get that? I got that update too.
Yeah, at least it wasn't on frickin' race day this time.
Yeah.
It needs to update every freaking week.
But so speaking of Phoenix, I mean, it was, if I wasn't so busy, it would have been one of those perfect weeks for a Cup Series nap during the race. You fall asleep during stage 1, wake up at stage 3 with about 50 laps left. You get to, you get your fill in, but I had to be responsible and, I hadn't done laundry in like 3 weeks. I was running out of stuff.
Screw responsibilities. Who needs those?
You need clean undergarments. And because my dogs sleep in my bed, I change my sheets like every 4 to 5 days. So I was out of sheets. I literally went and bought sheets on Saturday because I was like, I gotta wash all of this. So, yeah, I mean, the short pack trackage, but wow, short track package that NASCAR is running. I don't know if you've seen all the controversy all week. Kyle Larson called into the Dale Jr. download, which again, we've talked about this. Kyle Larson, fucking millionaire, buy some kind of streaming setup, please. You calling into Dale Jr. or you doing your own podcast from your iPhone propped up on your, kitchen counter or something. It sounds terrible. I mean, maybe you don't need a mic like this or a camera, but get a little lapel mic or something so it doesn't sound like you're talking in a chamber or something. But, the drivers want more power. NASCAR keeps saying, oh, well, that would cost the teams more money. Well, at this point, who cares about a bunch of millionaires and billionaires, how much money they're spending to race? Again, yeah, if they're spending too much, we won't have people racing. But Kyle and everyone else this week has said that it wouldn't cost more and it wouldn't change the reliability of giving them 750 horsepower on the short tracks. So why not try it in this package? Why not give them more power? And, not to hate on a local company, but Goodyear needs to give them a worse tire.
Yeah.
They shouldn't be able to run all of these laps on a tire and just be fine. Wear the tires out and give them more power. Make these guys stay on edge. I don't know if it would improve the racing at all, but why not try it? We've tried taking away, the diffuser slots, and we've, tried no underbody tray, and we've tried this and we've tried that. Just give them more power. If the engine builders are saying that they could give them more power without affecting the reliability, without spending any more money, just give them more power.
They won't.
No, because it's not NASCAR's idea to do it.
NASCAR only does what NASCAR wants to do, which is nothing ever.
We've got sprint car guys that are, a mechanic or whatever. They're pushing 900 horsepower in their sprint cars. Why is a NASCAR Cup car only 650 or whatever they are now? They should be 1,000, 1,200 horsepower or something. Smoke those tires off of them cars every time.
It would make for a lot better racing by far.
Yeah, another topic is, and there was a reporting on it, that this will be the last year as Phoenix as the championship race. And I really hope that's the case.
Yeah, what was it that they want to move it back to Miami?
Homestead, yeah. Which is, at least a lot more fun to watch racing. With everyone running the wall and things like that. I think the only cool part of Phoenix is, I disagree with you on the dog leg, is the restarts and watching them go 8 wide on the dog leg.
It just drives me insane. I don't know why, it just does.
But even then, I mean, it's the only time they have an opportunity to pass. If you watched this weekend, no one but Christopher Bell, who ended up winning the race and had the best car of the day, was able to pass. So that's the only time to even try and pass is on those restarts in the dog leg there. But this week we're going back to Bristol. No dirt this year.
Thank God.
No dirt.
Because a cup car does not belong on dirt. It's too damn heavy.
But it could be, I mean, this race could be just as boring. The spring concrete race tends to be a little more tame and boring than, your playoff night race.
Yeah.
What else do I have for this week? Now, big news, I think it dropped yesterday. I don't know if you saw this, but the tire penalties in late model dirt racing.
Yeah, I did see there was 3 of them, I think.
Bobby Pierce, Kyle Bronson, and Devin Moran. Bobby Pierce fined a total of $8,400. It was $1,000 fine, $400 tire analysis fee, and $7,000 that he won that night. And then he was suspended for 30 days. He's a World of Outlaws late model guy, so he was last year's champion. So that definitely, and he was docked points too. I don't remember how many points he was docked. So that's a big hit on his hopes of repeating this year. But maybe it sends a message to these guys of, hey, they're not messing around. Don't dope your tires up.
Yeah, you can't expect to cheat and get away with it.
Yeah, I think the old saying,
especially something that old, like
if you ain't cheating, you ain't winning. I don't know how much it sticks around nowadays with NASCAR and their laser templates for everything.
Yeah, which that gets me to another thing. Lionel, the company that makes all those diecasts, they posted a video on TikTok or something saying that they literally go in and look at pictures and paint the confetti on the model.
Yeah.
Why the hell don't you have a 3D scanner and scan the fucking car?
Well, because the teams want to load up after victory lane, so they don't have time.
Do these people get any cut? Does the team get any cut
of what?
Of the model? Wouldn't you think if it's faster to get the model out, and you set this precedent of having these models out quicker?
You've never gotten into the diecast world of things, have you?
No, I haven't.
Oh, it is a whole different world of like people complaining about their box comes slightly crumpled, which again, I mean, a diecast nowadays is about $100. If you were to win go out and buy a race win diecast, you're looking at $100. And that's for your base model, not like any of the special things. But yeah, the whole diecast world is a whole other world. There's people that'll pay $300 for a custom that looks like a 5-year-old painted it.
Why?
I
So
like my diecasts. I mean, you see them in the
if they make
background.
one of the Alex Bowman from this week, are you gonna buy it?
Oh, it's already on his web store.
Oh,
No, because I refuse to. I hate spending $100 on a diecast because all those ones I bought during Black Friday, I literally put them in a tote this weekend because, like, I think 3 of the 6 I bought are autographed, and I don't want to display them without something to protect the autograph. Even though 2 of them in that case behind me are autographed. But I'm really weird about that kind of stuff. So if I had like more room to showcase some of it, I would. But yeah, I don't know. I hate spending $100 on a diecast. The way I look at it is like $100 is like 2 t-shirts and a hat or something.
yeah, I don't get the people and you see them all the time at the IndyCar race. First of all, you see tons of jerseys and tons of the 124 scales or 116 scale cars.
Yeah, they're 118 there.
Like everyone just has one, and their driver sign it. You know, that was like big last year when Bobby and Graham were going around just giving them away to kids.
Yeah.
Like that's an expensive diecast, and you're signing it. Like holy shit,
Man, if your kids would have got one, I would have gave them $50 for one, and then they could have bought shirts of their favorites. There's like a limit. Like I have a Newgarden one from when he won the 500 on my wall, but that was the first year, I think 2020 or 21, I had gone to INDYCAR at Mid Ohio just for the Sunday race. And one of the tents was selling them for like $40.
wow.
So like $40-$50 is where I'll like draw the line of like, okay, I'll buy that. I have there's a Kevin Harvick Gravedigger in my case behind me. That I love that car. So I did spend like $50 for that.
I buy the little versions,
But I was also
the little ones.
I was drinking at Michigan and my roommate convinced me to buy it because I had the shirt and wore it all the time. So, and she's a Kevin Harvick fan. So, yeah, that's about the only one that I've paid even like remotely close to full price for.
Yeah, I have 2. Well, I have a NASCAR, I have an IndyCar, and then I have some F1s up there hidden.
Oh. There is one I paid full price for.
It is such a cool livery, though.
Yes, I love that one. I probably should have bought the full size one.
I wonder if Pelot is going to run that this year.
Maybe.
I mean, if DHL wants it.
Oh, I did. Speaking of diecast, I did get a pretty cool one this weekend.
Oh, that is cool.
My roommate and I go to this Amazon return store all the time, and I picked this up for like $6. So, I mean, as you can tell behind me, my room is just covered in all kinds of.
You know, his carpet is one of those car mats.
I've thought about it. If they were a little bit bigger,
I had one. I mean, what like boy that grew up with racing didn't have one?
Yeah.
You know, when I was little, I had the Little Tykes blue car bed. You know, I grew up in a racing family with the NASCAR sheets. I have NASCAR sheets somewhere. Like I had a racing bed
Power
with
Rangers
NASCAR sheets.
But yeah, I mean, I'm glad IndyCar is back. It was a good weekend. Now we have to wait another week and a half for the weird experiment of the exhibition race at, what is it called?
Thermal Club.
And it's one of those country club racetracks. which I know they were going to try and put one in Delaware, Ohio. But I don't know if it ever got the clearance to do it.
That's too
So-
close. It's too close. Too close.
Yeah,
to
it's
Mid-Ohio.
very close to Mid-Ohio.
I'd be surprised if GSR was just like, excuse me? Which it still drives me nuts that Green Savory Productions or Racing, whatever, can produce literally the season opener of the IndyCar season, and then they still just kind of neglect Mid-Ohio. They have 2 street races that they have. I don't think they own Portland. They just run Portland.
Yeah, I don't.
For that race. You own Mid-Ohio. Do something with it, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, because the city of Portland owns Portland, I think.
Yeah, kind of like Laguna Seca. It's the county that owns it, which is weird.
Well, because they put on Mid-Ohio, Portland. They do Detroit, too.
Yeah.
And then is it St. Pete?
4. Yeah.
Yeah, they did a full repave this year, so hopefully we'll see the results.
I'm excited to see what the racing is going to be like.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know when the first event I have is.
The first event, I think, is World Racing League, and that's first weekend of April.
Maybe I'll hit them up again and
hopefully it doesn't rain, because that's going to be an ice sheet.
Yeah, other than that, I mean, I might see if Attica would let me pay a pit pass to take some pictures, because I'm dying to go out.
You just want to get to a racetrack.
Yeah, I mean, I've got all this new stuff that I haven't got to use besides like the last Wayne County, and then a little bit for Summit Indoor. But like we talked before we started, I was being an ass and screwed up all my pictures from Summit Indoor.
So who won? Let me look at the.
Dan won INDYCAR because he
Okay.
picked Newgarden. I picked Scotty Mack, and I don't remember who you picked.
It's somewhere in here. Shit, I don't remember. I don't remember who I picked. I didn't write it down. I'll have to go back and watch.
I don't remember. I don't even remember who picked who for NASCAR.
NASCAR. If I went first, I picked. No, did you pick Byron?
Probably.
And then I picked Bowman. And then Logano and Chastain. So who?
Probably not either of us. Probably whoever picked Chastain, because the Hendrick cars ended up doing pretty poor, and I know Logano did pretty poorly.
Okay, out of us two, who won? By 2 points, by 2 positions, you beat me with Byron. Fuck
Yeah,
you.
because let me tell you, Alex really needs to improve this year. I don't know what
contract year for him.
No, I think he's signed through next year, but
okay.
With the injury last year, he went winless. And then this year just hasn't had the results. You know, it's like two sides of Hendrick Motorsports right now. You have Larson and Byron, just they're the top of the class over at Hendrick, and Elliott and Bowman are they're floundering over there.
Yeah. I mean, Elliott's supposed to be like the poster child for that team.
Yeah.
I mean, the other three. So Larson finished 14th, which isn't really great for him. And then you had 18th, 19th, and 20th with Byron, Elliott, and Bowman. I mean, not a real great performance for, that whole team.
No, you had Ross Chastain as the only Chevy in the top 10 this week.
Which Bell and Gibbs are both Joe Gibbs Racing, right?
Yeah.
And then Buescher is
RFK with Keselowski in
Keselowski was fourth. And he had Blaney.
So the Fords and Toyotas with the new bodies. Do you think they kind of looked at Phoenix and said, "Hey, that's where we need to do good championship race"?
Yeah, I mean, if that's the championship race, then yeah.
I don't know if you got to listen to Door Bumper Clear or not yet this week, but they had a whole segment on the number one pit stall being the most important. And that's how Larson won his championship a few years ago. And Denny every time ended up first out of on pit sequences because that number one pit stall is just so important. But yeah, what do we have coming up this week? And we have Sebring for IMSA.
Sebring, yes. Some more
and
IMSA.
And then Bristol.
It's Bristol, baby.
It is Bristol, baby. Speaking of which, we'll make our picks after this one. Did you happen to see the big news today that oh crap. Lee Diffie is going to be the head play-by-play a few weeks after the Olympics this year for the NBC NASCAR coverage.
Whoa. So is he leaving INDYCAR?
That's the confusing thing. I was trying to find that before we started today. If he was leaving INDYCAR.
Because he does amazing. The chemistry between those three is it's really good.
Yeah.
Who else would they bring? Unfortunately, we were blessed with Jamie Little a lot this weekend. Unfortunately.
I know it's Women's
History Month or appreciate or something.
Fox has got to sort out these. You
know what Fox does good at? NHRA.
I'll tell you the one thing I like with Fox this year: the pit crew thing they do at the beginning
the pit crew spotlight.
Doing the football, the NFL style pit crew thing. I do like that. Saying that all of these guys, kind of learning about these guys and that they're all former college athletes or, ex-professional athletes. I do like that part. But yeah, some of this, I've kind of strayed away from it the last couple of weeks, but yeah, some of this stuff with the Fox broadcast booth is bad. I think it was last week I had a note that I think adding Kevin Harvick to the booth has really thrown off Clint Boyer. There was one point where it was like Brad, Kyle Larson, Brad Keselowski, and Corey LaJoie got into a wreck, and it was the 5, 6, 7 car. And they're talking about it, and all this out of nowhere, Clint Boyer just goes, the 5, 6, 7. And it was just awkward. And Clint Boyer was my favorite driver prior to him retiring because of some of the weird Clint Boyer stuff he would do. But yeah, a lot of this, from last week's, maybe it was this week, Xfinity race. Cindric makes a weird F1 joke about DRS, and Joey Logano says, "Don't do that. This is better." You got Joey Logano in those races doing his weird Joey Logano laugh. I don't know if you've ever seen Happy Gilmore, but when they make fun of the one character's laugh, every time I hear Joey Logano laugh, I just think of that. But yeah, I don't know. The Fox broadcasts really leave a lot to be desired. The truck race every week feels like it's just phoned in. The Xfinity, I do like some of the revolving cast. I think Austin Cindric does a much better job than Joey Logano does in the booth. This week they had Daniel Suarez in, and it was I saw a thing on Twitter and I laughed about it that every driver is his amigo in the race. But yeah, but how's NBC going to do this year without Dale Jr.? Without
I
Redneck
don't know.
Jesus. I do like Lee Diffie on the Xfinity, or not the Xfinity, the IndyCar side of things. So
yeah, who's gonna be on? Who's gonna be the in the booth for besides Dale Jr. for Amazon?
I don't think that's been announced, and I don't think the CW's Xfinity
TNT
broadcast. I think Dale Jr. might be both Amazon and TNT.
Oh,
But
I have this one. It's from 3 months ago, and it says Jamie Little, Kurt Busch, and Chad Knaus. Knaus. You pronounce the K.
Yeah, it's literally Jimmy Johnson's ex crew chief.
Oh, that's who
he's
they
a
have.
Hall of Famer, Kyle.
I don't know NASCAR. I'm sorry. And then it has, Adam Alexander, Jamie McMurray, and Larry McReynolds for TNT. So I don't know how accurate that is. That is Reddit, so who knows? It's probably
that might be one of those Reddit
it's somebody's fantasy
dream.
I don't know why. I don't know why Jamie Little would be on your fantasy announcer booth, but
yeah,
it's almost as bad as having Danica Patrick. I mean, get like one of the, at least the F1 female presenters are good.
But when season whatever of Drive to Survive came out, I saw everyone complaining about the Danica Patrick stuff. So
yeah, why would they put her in there? They have all these great female announcers that already work for Sky and all of that. And can we get the one guy out? He's so annoying. I
think I have watched a total of 10 minutes of Drive to Survive. I think I watched 10 minutes in.
I watched 10 minutes of this current season and I was like, I'm bored already.
But yeah, so who is your Bristol pick?
I don't know.
I feel the same way. So just kind of throw a name out there.
It is a short track. What? It's a half mile?
Yeah.
I'm going to go. Well, no, Bell just won, so he's not going to win again. He could. It's unlikely. According to him, as long as
Bob Pockrass doesn't
pick him. I want to go with Josh Berry.
I'm going to go with Buescher.
Butcher.
Christopher Buescher.
Christopher Buescher. Now, how do you think Sebring's going to go? Do you think Penske's going to be back on top? I mean, they're doing pretty freaking good this year.
Yeah, winning all. What is it? It was like three of their first races of the year, short of NASCAR.
Yeah.
WEC, IMSA, and
they didn't win it.
INDYCAR. I thought it was a Porsche.
I thought Ferrari beat them last minute.
Oh, I don't know.
Let's find out. Let's find out. Accurate reporting here. Where the fuck is it? Was that Qatar?
Sure.
I don't know. Go with Qatar. God,
speaking of which, completely different topic, but the season announcement or season opener was announced this previous week for our former home track.
Yes. We didn't even mention that last week that, I guess it was Penske Porsche.
Yeah, I thought so.
Oh, I thought it was Ferrari that was up against them. Dang, they're that Porsche's fast. Yeah. So, a local landmark is reopening after a season hiatus. It's not Barberton Speedway.
I was just gonna say, are we gonna be those boomers that still refer to it as Barberton Speedway, or are we going to use its real name?
Even though that I will more than likely be contracted to do some kind of work for them, at least partially. It's still Barberton to me.
I think it'll always be Barberton.
It's always Barberton. I've been going there for literally my whole life, and it's been Barberton since 1945. So even when it was Barberton Raceway Park, it was still Barberton. And a lot of people are really confused why it was ever called Barberton in the first place when it's in Norton. Earth, you guys, boundaries change sometimes. It was originally in Barberton, Ohio, and then Norton annexed it or something, but yeah, so they're opening the first weekend of May. Yeah, so
here's my question. Am I shooting boss sprints by myself? Well, you have to go to Barberton.
More than likely. More than likely I will be there for the first race, which is going to be really fun because Caden has on the 5th or 4th, depending, state gymnastics tournament. So that will be fun, trying to figure that out. So nothing was really going to happen that weekend anyway for me.
Yeah.
But it's money. It's
so I'll be
doing
boss by myself, and then I don't know if you'll be doing scoring and timing or pictures, but
definitely not doing any pictures there. No,
come on, it's so fun.
It's not that fun there. I don't even know who's going to do pictures there this year.
I mean, I'll say I had a good time hanging out with your dad when I go there.
He won't be there. He'll be at the campground.
Oh, he's not doing it this year?
No, he's not going out.
Well, then I will never be there. Because I'm not going unless I get to hang out with Keith.
And No, I'll probably be assistant race directing again with my knowledge and training some other people how to do the scoring. So
Well, you better give them a crash course because the next week is IMS road
yeah,
course.
I know.
If we do that, I don't
If
know
we get
how.
credentials, I don't know if we will or not.
Yeah, because May is a crazy month. So you
Yeah, I mean,
better.
we have we have that, and then World of Outlaw sprints.
There's literally on mine. I
Well,
have
I'll be
boss
going to the Sharon ones at least.
that night. Drifting the next day at Lorraine. IMS that next weekend. If we don't go to IMS, fast at Wayne County, then yeah, both Sharon sprint show or Attica and Sharon sprints. Mid Ohio Hoosier Super Tour, IMS for the 500, Atomic for the Extreme Outlaws, and Fremont for Woo.
It's a lot. It's a lot going on. And then it doesn't get any slower going into June.
No. So, but yeah, do you have anything else? I have dogs at my feet that are just.
I don't have anything else. That is all. Hopefully everybody enjoys this weekend with NASCAR, and if you're able to,
is World of Outlaws this weekend too. If you have Dirt Vision.
Well, if you have Dirt Vision, if you want to spend that kind of money, you can watch that. And if you can stay up for the full 12 hours of Sebring, let us know what happened, because I'll probably be going to bed. I'm not going to stay up for the whole thing. But yeah, that's all. We'll see you next week. Maybe we'll have a guest on. I don't know. I know Dan.
Hopefully Dan got his car fixed this week.
Yeah, Dan had some car troubles today that he was taking care of, and hopefully he gets that fixed, not just for the podcasting, but for his own sake. And hopefully we can get another guest on here soon. So that's all I have. So have a good weekend. Have a good evening.
See ya.